from power supply, gate power supply, we have to go connect to the 1K resistance. From 1K resistance, we have to connect it to the gate circuit, gate terminal, right? Gate terminal. In between, we have to connect the ammeter. From ammeter, we take it to the gate, and from cathode end, we will connect it to the power supply other end. So that completes the gate connection. Started with power supply, 1K resistance, ammeter, gate terminal, cathode terminal is connected to the negative of the power supply. That completes the gate this one. Then we start with the anode cathode power supply. Anode cathode power supply, right? Positive point of the power supply is given to the load resistance. From the load resistance, we connected to one ammeter. The other end of the ammeter is connected to the anode cathode of the thyristor. Then the cathode of the thyristor is connected back to the negative of the power anode cathode power supply. That completes the complete connection diagram. Then we will be connecting voltmeter across the anode cathode of the thyristor. One voltmeter, two ammeters, one to measure the gate current, other one to measure the load current value. That's all the connections involved in the SCR experiment. We are going to do the SCR characteristic experiment. SCR characteristic experiment consists of 4 parts. One is determining the gate minimum current. Other one is what is the latching current. Second one is what is the holding current. Third one is on state voltage drop. Right. The circuit diagram is, we have got the thyristor. This is the gate circuit. Power supply, 1 kilo ohm resistance, ammeter to indicate what is the gate current that it is flowing through. When we come to the anode cathode side, we have got the power supply 0 to 30 volts, load resistance is connected, ammeter, and to indicate whether the device is becoming on or not, we are connecting a voltmeter across anode cathode. First we determine the gate minimum current. Let us go to the unit. This is the unit. We have got 2 power supplies. This unit is same as what we have done in the case of MOSFET and IGBT characteristics. Right? You are already familiar with the kit. We have got the power supply 1, power supply 2, and we are normally how we distinguish is higher voltage power supply will be connected to anode cathode side. Lower voltage power supply will be connected to the gate circuit. Right? First we determine the gate minimum current. Right? So this is the switching on of this one. Both meters and power supply has been extended to the unit. Then I am switching the gate current. Right? Once I give the gate voltage, I look for the gate minimum current, whether it is 23 greater than 15 milliamperes around or not. The gate current now it is drawing is 24 milliamperes. Right. Then the moment I switch on the anode cathode power supply, I have maintained around 9.8 volts anode cathode voltage, and now the current that it is drawn by the load is going to be around 85 milliamperes. That means the whole circuit is working. Now we have to determine what is the gate minimum current, which is going to be which makes the circuit to operate or thyristor to get switched on. Right. So now I will reduce the gate current to its minimum value, and then every time I increase by few milliamperes, say 3 milliamperes, 5 milliamperes, like that, and then when the device becomes on, that will give us the gate minimum current. Now I am going to reduce the gate minimum current to a minimum value. gate current has become 0, right? Gate current has become 0. Now, if the thyristor is already latched, it is a latching type of a device. So 85 milliamperes is already flowing through. Whether there is gate current or not, it still continues to conduct. Now we have to switch off the power supply to the anode cathode side, so that we will make sure that the device is not on. So now the current to the device has become 0, and the voltage across we have removed the voltage, no voltage is applied. Now I switch it on, right? The thyristor is not conducting because the current through the gate is less than the gate minimum current. Voltage is applied, right? Now I start increasing milliamperes by milliamperes. Now see the gate current is increasing here. Two. Now I have made it 5 milliamperes, say. Five milliamperes is not sufficient to turn on the SCR. So still SCR is not conducting. Its voltage across that is still maintained, whatever we have given in the beginning. Right? Now if I slowly increase it at one particular, at 11 also, 11 it has started conducting. That means the current, the gate minimum current is between 11.8 milliamperes and 5. Then we have to do the second exercise. That means reduce it to around 9 milliamperes. Gate current is reduced to 9 milliamperes. I will switch off and then again switch it on, right? The thyristor is not conducting, so exactly it is around 9.7 milliamperes gate current. This is the first portion of the experiment. Experiment is determining the latching current. Now we have already maintained a gate current of 17.5 milliamperes and the 85 milliamperes is the load current that it is drawing. Now the moment I turn off the gate voltage, right? Gate voltage, the gate current is not passing through, but still the thyristor is latched. It is still conducting. 85 milliamperes is flowing through the thyristor. Now let us start reducing the voltage 55 milliamperes and see whether that is the latching current or not. Now I have set it around 71 milliamperes. Now I turn off my gate voltage. Still the thyristor is conducting. That means we have not yet reached the latching current. Right? Now again I release the gate pulse. Go to around 65 or 60 milliamperes. Better to reduce it by 55 milliamperes. Now I have maintained 59 milliamperes. I am turning off my gate voltage, but still the thyristor conducting. That means we have not yet reached the latching current value. Right. Now let me set it around 45. $47 milliamperes I have set. Let me turn off the gate voltage. Still it is conducting. That means 46 milliamperes is also not the latching current. Let me go slightly less than 46. 44 I have maintained. Right. Now the moment I turn off the thyristor, turn off the gate voltage, the thyristor is becoming off. That means 34 milliamperes, 44 milliamperes is the latching current of the device what we are testing. Right. We have, now we have to switch off the gate voltage. The thyristor is latched and the current that it is drawing is 47 milliamperes. Now if I further reduce the anode cathode current, at one particular point of anode cathode current, the device becomes off. That's what it is called as the holding current. Right? 43 it has become, it is still conducting. 42 still conducting. 41 still conducting, 40, 39, I am going on increasing the resistance so that the anode cathode current gets reduced, right? 35 still it is conducting, 33, 32. Somewhere around when the anode cathode current is around 33 milliamperes, it has become turned off. I am not able to see because it is suddenly becoming off, and keeping track of the current is difficult. So now what I do is I have kept the resistance same value. Now I release my gate pulses. Whatever the reading I get on the meter, that will be the holding current. That is 34 milliamperes. Now the fourth portion of this experiment is determining the anode cathode voltage drop when the load current is varying. That means this characteristic is to be determined, right? Now how do we do that is, I have connected the multimeter across anode cathode, and for every 10 milliamperes I read the voltmeter reading and note it down. That gives me the drop across that. Now 92, the voltage drop across that is around 0.7 volts, right? Then it further gets reduced to 0.78 is the voltage that we are getting at 89 milliamperes, 75, 61. The voltage that it is varying, we have to make a note of that, that's all, right? So up to say around 20 milliamperes or 30 milliamperes, what is the voltage drop that it is occurring across the anode cathode, we have to measure. That completes the static characteristics of the thyristor. I just review with reference to the diagram that what we are having. We started with 0 volts. We have determined what is the gate minimum current that it is required for the thyristor to make it to on. When a voltage of 10 volts is applied, then we have come to then we determine the latching current. From latching current we have determined the holding current. That means another point on the curve we have got, and holding current point also we have got. Then we have to establish the on-state resistance or the voltage drop across that with reference to current. If we take, then voltage divided by current will give the on-state resistance of this one. That means complete static characteristic of the SCR has been determined. The 4 parts are there in that. That's all.